Imagine if I revealed to you that the heartbreak you suffered, the betrayal you never saw coming, the coldness in her eyes that cut deeper than any blade wasn't her choice. What if I told you she didn't even understand why she did it? Sigmund Freud, the man who dared to map the unconscious, left behind private notes and case files that academia buried because the truth was too dangerous. He uncovered something chilling. Women are not fully in control of their own love, loyalty, or cruelty. They are moved by hidden programs older than civilization itself. And once you see it, you'll never look at female behavior the same way again. Before we begin, hit that like button, subscribe, and type unconscious in the comments if you're ready to face truths society desperately hides from you. Picture this. You meet a woman who seems perfect. She tells you exactly what she wants: honesty, loyalty, a man who respects her. You believe her. You give her everything. And just when you start to feel secure, she vanishes. Cold, detached, silent. No explanation. What happened? Freud would argue nothing happened. She didn't decide to leave. Her unconscious decided for her. Freud's most dangerous claim was never about sex, childhood, or repression. It was about free will. He believed that nearly 90% of human behavior comes not from conscious thought, but from the unconscious, a shadowy vault of instincts, shame, and primal drives. And when it comes to women, he argued, this influence is even more extreme. In his 1925 paper, Some Psychical Consequences of the Anatomical Distinction Between the Sexes, Freud noted something shocking. Women's sense of morality, the superego, is not shaped like men's. Men tend to act from guilt, an internal conscience. Women act from shame, an external fear of being judged or rejected. That means her behavior isn't driven by principle. It's driven by social survival. You thought she left because you weren't compatible. Freud would say she left because her unconscious whispered it was safer to do so. One of the most infamous cases in early psychoanalysis was Anna O., a young woman plagued by hallucinations, paralysis, and violent mood swings. Treated by Freud's mentor, Joseph Breuer, she revealed her symptoms stemmed from hidden grief over her father's illness. Breuer believed she was cured until she accused him of impregnating her, nearly destroying his reputation. To Freud, this was no random delusion. It was a pattern. What Freud realized is terrifying. Hysteria was not just an illness. It was a weapon, a subconscious tool women used to bend reality around them, to manipulate the men in their orbit. And they weren't lying not in the conscious sense. Their unconscious rewrote reality itself until the story fit their emotional needs. When she cries, when she accuses, when she rewrites history, it feels genuine to her. But it is not truth, it is hysterical cognition. Freud's term for the female ability to distort memory, facts, and even perception itself. And if you've ever been blindsided by a woman who swore she loved you one week and claimed you were toxic the next, Freud would say you've already encountered this. Freud's most dangerous insight wasn't about women at all, it was about men. He called it the mother complex. He claimed that every man's adult relationships are distorted reflections of his bond with his mother. Did your mother reward you only when you behaved? Did she punish you with silence when you defied her? Did she guilt you for seeking independence? If so, you were programmed to confuse emotional manipulation with love. In The Dissolution of the Oedipus Complex, Freud argued that for a boy to become a man, he must symbolically kill his maternal attachment. Most never do. Instead, they spend their lives repeating the cycle, seeking women who recreate their mother's control and punishing themselves for trying to escape it. And this is why, Freud believed, so many men become prisoners of female illusions. They are not falling for the woman in front of them. They are trapped in an endless echo of their first relationship with the feminine. You've heard it since childhood. A mother's love is unconditional. Fairy tales, movies, even therapists whisper this lie. But Freud warned it's one of the most destructive illusions a man can believe. Because love, especially female love, is never unconditional. In his private notes, Freud observed that women's affection is transactional, though not always consciously. A mother loves her son when he obeys. A lover loves her man when he provides. A wife loves her husband when he matches her social expectations. Remove the condition, and the unconditional vanishes like smoke. Freud wrote that women withhold affection as a form of punishment. It's not cruelty, it's survival. Their unconscious links love to control. By granting or withdrawing it, they bend men to their needs. Think about the last time she pulled away, went cold, or withheld intimacy. Was it random? Or was it the unconscious strategy of a psyche designed to test whether you would bend or break? The myth of unconditional love keeps men weak, always chasing approval that was never meant to be permanent. Freud's brutal truth? Her love is a contract unspoken, unstable, and always subject to her unconscious demands. Freud's most feared theory was the thanatos, the death drive. He believed that beneath every human desire for pleasure is a darker urge, the pull toward destruction. And nowhere is this more visible than in relationships. Have you noticed how some women sabotage stability? They crave the chaos, the fights, the destruction of what seemed perfect. Freud would say, "This isn't madness, it's biology." He claimed the female psyche is torn between eros, the drive to love, nurture, and create life, and thanatos, the urge to destroy, control, and return to nothingness. When eros grows too strong, thanatos appears. Harmony becomes unbearable, so chaos must erupt. That's why the sweetest moments can suddenly turn bitter. The calm before the storm is not an accident. It is her unconscious preparing for collapse. Freud warned that a woman in love is not simply seeking happiness. She is unconsciously seeking a cycle. Build, break, rebuild, eros, then thanatos, creation, then destruction. If you've ever felt like you were punished the moment things finally felt stable, it wasn't you. It was the death drive whispering through her veins. Freud once wrote, "The girl's superego never becomes as inexorable, as impersonal, as the boy's." What did he mean? Men are guided by guilt, a conscience that whispers even when no one is watching. Women, he claimed, are guided by shame, the fear of being judged, rejected, or exposed. This means their morality is not an internal compass, but an external mirror. That's why she may preach loyalty in public while betraying in secret. Why she can justify behavior today that she condemned yesterday. Her moral code bends with her environment because her unconscious survival instinct demands it. Freud's warning? Never assume her morality mirrors yours. What restrains you from within may only restrain her from without. While Freud's Oedipus complex for boys is infamous, he claimed girls face a different but equally destructive battle. The Electra complex. A girl begins life bonded to her mother. But upon discovering the father's role and later the difference between the sexes, her loyalty shifts. She desires her father's approval and resents her mother as a rival. Freud called this penis envy. But beneath the crude phrase was a chilling reality. Women are born with an unconscious sense of lack. This wound, this feeling of incompleteness, drives them to seek validation, possession, and control over men. You thought she loved you for who you were. Freud would say she loved you for what you symbolized. The cure to an ancient wound she never asked for, but never escaped. Freud observed that lovers often fight most bitterly over the smallest things. Why? Because the unconscious cannot tolerate sameness. Women in particular, Freud argued, magnify minor flaws into unbearable crimes. The wrong word, the forgotten text, the slip of tone, suddenly, you are an enemy. This is not logic. This is unconscious narcissism, the mind inventing conflict to preserve its fragile sense of superiority. That's why she may claim you never listen when you've listened 1,000 times. Why she may accuse you of betrayal when you've done nothing wrong. Her unconscious needs the drama to preserve the illusion of being above you. Freud's warning: don't mistake her accusations for truth. Often, they are projections, her way of fighting shadows she cannot name. Freud discovered something horrifying. People do not seek happiness in love. They seek familiarity. He called it repetition compulsion, the drive to recreate early traumas again and again, hoping for a different ending. For women, this often means choosing men who echo their father's flaws. The distant father, the angry father, the absent father. She is not choosing you, she is choosing her past, replayed in your body. That's why she returns to toxic men. That's why she destroys stability. Her unconscious is not searching for joy, it is searching for repetition. And unless you break the cycle, you will become nothing more than her childhood wound brought to life. In his earliest career, Freud proposed the seduction theory, that hysteria in women often stemmed from early sexual trauma. But the idea was too explosive, too dangerous. Under pressure, Freud abandoned it publicly. Yet, in his private notes, he never fully let it go. He saw that early experiences, shame, abuse, neglect, etched themselves deep into the female unconscious, shaping every love, every betrayal, every silence. This means the woman you love today may not even see you. You are filtered through scars she does not remember. Her accusations, her withdrawals, her cruelty, it may not be about you at all. You are only the stage where her unconscious trauma repeats itself. Freud shocked his students when he wrote, "A woman's love is never free of hostility." He meant that every bond with a man carries a shadow, envy of his freedom, resentment of his power, hatred of his control. Even as she clings to you, another part of her despises you. This is why passion so easily turns to contempt. Why the honeymoon phase dies so violently. Why the same woman who once adored you can suddenly look at you as if you are a stranger. Freud believed that hostility in women was not a flaw, it was structural. Love and hate, inseparable, like two sides of the same coin. And when the balance tips, destruction follows. In his late work, Civilization and Its Discontents, Freud wrote that society itself depends on repressing the unconscious. But repression has a price. He warned that women, more than men, carry the burden of this repression, forced to appear nurturing, gentle, moral, even when their unconscious seethes with darker drives. And when repression cracks, hysteria explodes. Accusations, breakdowns, sudden shifts, they are not random. They are the unconscious lashing out against the cage civilization built for her. Freud's chilling conclusion: civilization is built on lies about female nature, and those lies are always one step from collapse. Freud's final insight was perhaps the darkest of all. Men who seek to master women without first mastering themselves are doomed. The unconscious is not only hers, it is yours. Her hysteria mirrors your weakness. Her betrayal reflects your illusions. Her coldness exposes your neediness. Freud wrote that the only path to strength is ruthless honesty with oneself. To see through the illusions, to kill the mother complex, to stop chasing unconditional love that never existed. Once you do, you are free not from women, but from the unconscious trap that enslaves both sexes. If this shook you awake, if you're ready to claim the knowledge Freud buried, then don't just scroll away. Like, subscribe, and pass this on to someone still blinded by the lie. The odds were never stacked for you, but now, the power is in your hands.